What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I think one of the common misconceptions about Detroit is that it doesn't have decent public transportation. I think we getting there. The People Mover, which is what I'm on right now, has always been around. I catch it right outside of my building whenever I'm going into the office. And then I catch the queue line once I get off of the People Mover in order to go straight down to my office. Also, a lot of people that come down here for events and stuff like that, you don't have to park as close as you possibly can to the event or wherever it is that you're going to catch lunch. Weather permitting, obviously, because if it's cold outside or it's snowing or something like that, then I understand it, but the weather is pretty much turned. It's gonna be like 70 degrees today, so I literally just get my backpack, put my stuff up, and then I just go ahead and catch public transportation everywhere I go, and it's free. So I can ride the queue line, I can ride on the People Mover, and get where I need to go. And so y'all can park a little bit further out. Even when it comes to the queue line, you can park further down Woodward for free, and then catch it closer into the city, into downtown. But that's not what I wanted to talk to y'all about today. What I wanted to talk to y'all about today is the fact that they don't love you. Let me explain. Would they be with you if you were still shooting in the gym, which they not? They wouldn't be with you. As a matter of fact, they selfish because they know that they can't qualify for you, but they pray for you, meaning that they're praying that they get you from God, so they pray for you to come into their life, and then they know they can't add no value into you, but then they tell you that it's your responsibility to save the community. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that something? So you telling me that the narrative is don't date based off of potential, right? Remember that? They say that all the time. But then when you ask them, well, what qualifies you for a great man? They can't answer the question, which means that they shouldn't be with you. But then they'll tell you that they have to be with you because every woman deserves a great man. Freaky Jason, help me to understand it. So you can't have it both ways. You can't speak with forked tongue. Either you deserve a great man or you don't. Now, if you deserve a great man, then that means that you qualify. If you qualify, I would like to know what the qualifications are for this rich man, for this phenomenal guy, this guy that you absolutely love and adore. What are the qualifications for a great man? And if you can't answer that question, then how can we then say that you deserve a great man? But I'm gonna tell you what the truth is. They know that they don't qualify. They know that they don't qualify. But they'll just say every woman deserves a great man, the same way that they say believe all women. Now we know that all women ain't believable because we've seen too many lies, even in court. Amber Heard, anybody ever heard of her? No worries, we're not even gonna rehash that. But the point I'm trying to make is they'll ask God for you knowing that they don't deserve you, but then will thank God for you when you come to save them. Now on the flip side, what's really interesting is that means that you add no value. So either you add value or you don't. And if you don't, then that means you're an anchor. You hold me back. You prevent me from being great. But they okay with that as long as you serve a need in their life. And the minute that you stop serving a need in their life, they'll move on to the next man, or they'll move on to something that they feel like is better, right? Even when it comes to the dating process, a lot of them say, well, I would never date a man unless he's at or above my level. What do you mean above your level? So you know that you would qualify for a guy that's at your level, what you perceive to be at your level. But you wouldn't date a guy that's below your level, but you would date a guy that's way above your level because you think that he's supposed to enhance you. And then they'll use the excuse and say, well, men are supposed to take care of the community, or the community goes as men go. Well, if that's the case, then why did you champion feminism? Why are you championing a thing that's not best for you? You know why? Because you selfish. And women are inherently selfish. That's why they hypergamous. Hypergamous meaning that they want the best available option, regardless of whether or not they qualify for it or not. They want the best available option. Now, a guy, conversely, knows what he qualifies for. They know. That's why you had the poster on your wall back in the day, right? They had certain women on their wall or whatever because that was the dream. That was the thing that they aspired to get to. And they knew that they had to meet certain qualifications or else that woman wouldn't even look their way, because that's what nature has dictated, right? We know that we're held accountable by default. So we don't ever have to be held accountable for our actions, because society is going to kick our ass if we don't meet expectations. It's a swim or drown situation. Whereas women, they've always had that safety net, which I don't understand why they then say, well, it's equal. Because if it's equal, then it has to be equal on both sides, not just when it's beneficial to you. But always equate it back to being friends, right? And think about it. For all of the people that's fumbled in life, for all of the guys that were supposed to make it to the league, NBA, NFL, whatever, right? And we could even take Ja Morant, for example, and we say, listen, if his friends really cared about him, then they would step back and say, hey, fam, I don't want to ruin your bag. I don't want to mess you up. You got greater things that's going on in your life. It's important for you to make the adjustment, get yourself together, and focus on your career, because I don't want you to fumble. I don't want you to mess up. For every Michael Vick, for every person that really didn't reach the apex of what they were supposed to be, was some of the most talented dudes that we ever met in our life, friends don't let friends crash out, meaning that you know that you don't qualify to be where it is that he's going. So unless you get yourself to that point, you don't want to be the one that make him crash out, or you don't want to be the one that influence him. Now, we know that he has to be responsible for whatever it is that he end up like in his actions, because that's just what men do. And he's going to be held accountable, right? There's no dude that fumbled that wasn't held accountable for whether or not he produced or not. However, it is still our responsibility, and we understand as men now, some men is going to ride that wave until you can't ride it no more, and then when he crash out, you're going to disappear and ain't nobody going to be in a circle. But that's what we talk about, real ones. That's what we talk about, day ones. That's what we start to figure that out, and we still figuring that out as a community, and so we understand that though. We hold men accountable for that. But if we use women in that same light, you never hear that. You never hear women say, hey girl, you going in the direction I don't want you to crash out. Let me remove myself, or let me hold myself accountable for the fact that you shouldn't be with me, because that's not it. You've never seen a movie like The Boys in the Hood where Ice Cube told Trey to get out the car because he knew, or Trey said, hey man, let me out the car, or the homie said, hey man, you ain't supposed to be here, get on up out of here. You know, you don't see that from women. You don't see it from women when it comes to other women that's crashing out. No, everybody go on a girls trip. And if you don't go on a girls trip, which we know is some fuck shit going on, then girl, why you so interdependent on that man? They talk negative about it and all of that. Whereas guys, largely, not entirely, largely, we push each other. We want the best for each other. We don't want each other to crash out. You know what I'm saying? And so they don't want that brotherhood, and they don't want us talking to each other and giving the game and giving responsibility, because they know that the stronger we are, the more they're going to have to get their ass together and then qualify for the men that they want. But at the same time, let's use that same example and let's apply it to men in relationships. If a guy gets with a girl that they know don't qualify to be with her, and she's at this level, they're going to be like, oh, he using her, he just a pookie, right? He taking her money, he doing what Wendy Williams' husband did, all of that. Now, if a girl do it with a guy, it's a different conversation, right? She not dragging him down. It's more or less about the fact that he need to get it together and he need to get his household in order. Selfish, fucking selfish. Meaning that they don't care how much they drag you down, as long as they keep themselves afloat. That's a fact. It's just the reality of it, and the minute that you realize it, the better off your life is going to be. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at y'all later. I'll see y'all on the Millionaire Morning Show, man. Peace.